everybody and welcome back to another trip report. Today I'm here at Yogyakarta Kulon Progo International Airport. Today I'm going to be flying Super Airjet on board an A320 from here in Kulon Progo, Yogyakarta to Jakarta, which is the capital of Indonesia and also the busiest airport. Alright, so this is a brand new airport that opened only 3 years ago in 2020. So it's pretty nice. Now let's go inside and find check-in. Okay, so here is the Super Airjet check-in at C30, right at the end of the terminal here. By the way, I believe that you can self-check-in, but you can't self-bag drop, as with most Indonesian airports. So I might as well just go to the check-in counter. So now let's go over here and check in for our flight there to Jakarta. Okay, so check-in has now been completed. I have my boarding pass. It's been 25 minutes since for the majority of the time there was only one desk open. Right at the end they opened up one more replacing a Balikpapan desk, and now they've opened up another one. So it would be quicker now, but no, if you get here early there's not many people there, so it did take a while. Anyways, thankfully it's a very nice airport to have to wait in. But now that I have my boarding pass and checked in, by the way, the staff were friendly enough. But yeah, now that I have my boarding pass and checked in, let's head through security, I suppose. If that is security, I'm not sure. Okay, so security has now been completed. It's not automated. I've actually never seen an automated thing in Indonesia, I don't think. But it didn't take too long since the lines are very small, staff were friendly, but you do need to show them your passport or ID and boarding pass before you enter security, as with most Indonesian airports. So now that I'm through, this is a absolutely massive and beautiful terminal, since it's brand new. It's not particularly busy at the moment, but there's lots of little shops and stuff that you can probably buy anything that you need from. So I guess let's just check out some shops and then head to the gate. Here's my plane for today. It's just coming in from Jakarta. Here's my plane for today. This is Papa Kilo, Sierra Juliet Foxtrot. It's a 2011 built Airbus A320-232, delivered brand new to Indigo Airlines in India. It was delivered over to Super Airjet in 2022 following Indigo's fleet renewal, where they replaced some A320ceos with neos. As you can probably see, this aircraft is not painted in Super Airjet's livery. It's very lazy. They've painted just the Super Airjet text, and it's actually very difficult to see when sun is on it. The actual Super Airjet livery, I think I got a clip of one taking off so you can see it. But yeah, it seems to be a common occurrence in the Lion Air group for them to be lazy with painting. This will be my ride over to Indonesia's capital. It's super echoey, so I can't hear it, but based off the crowd movements, it looks like it's definitely time to board. The announcements were also only made in Bahasa. Terima kasih. Now time to board. Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi.
Welcome on board the Super Airjet A320. There's 180 seats in a 3-3 layout, which is normal across all A320s. My seat for today will be 7 Foxtrot. Okay then, welcome aboard the Super Airjet Airbus A320. Also just a very quick little bit of information about Super Airjet. Firstly, I don't know where the name comes from, it's a little odd, but oh well, it's not quite as different as really cool airlines, but still. And it's actually a very new airline. It only launched, I believe, in 2021. I think it launched in mid-2021, making it Indonesia's newest commercial airline. They started up with a few old A320s from Tiger Air Australia and Indigo, which is where this aircraft came from, and most of them, I believe. One last thing is it's a low-cost carrier aimed at the younger generation. It's kind of like a more mild version of Bonza, but in Indonesia, because the crew have a more casual uniform, and it's just that kind of an airline. Anyways, now let's go through the seat features. So first up, legroom on this aircraft is not good at all. It's really limited at 71 to 74 centimetres, I believe, or 28 to 29 inches. If you were to put anything in here, it'd be definitely 71 centimetres or 28 inches, maybe less. So legroom is very limited. Just here you have a seat back pocket for your personal items. And there's a seat back pocket or literature pocket for the safety card, and there's something else in there, a invocation card. I believe this is a prayer card, correct me if I'm wrong, so that's nice that they do have that. I think there's something else in there too, but I can't reach it.
Kami sangat senang Anda terbang bersama kami. Kami informasikan bahwa bagasi kabin dapat disimpan di bagian flight to Jakarta with the flight number YIA-CGK. Please check your boarding pass to ensure you are in the correct flight. Thank you.
Okay, finally, I think she said the same thing twice, but now let's continue with the seat features. So as I said, there's a literature pocket here. And then just in here, you can see the Recaro branding. This is a Recaro seat. If I remember, I'll find out what it's actually called.
Yang dapat dinikmati selama perjalanan. Foto dan konten yang disajikan pun menarik. Maka mudah mengakses Tripper 1 aplikasi Tripper sebelum terbang.
So now let's have a quick look at the tray table. If you pull it down like this, then you can see that there's actually 2 cup slots, but it hasn't been cleaned, so it's a bit dirty. You can pull it out, which there's barely any room to do with this legroom, and push it in. And as I said, I did just quickly download the entertainment app, which is called Tripper. Never heard of it before, I think it's Indonesian. So I guess we'll see if that works a little bit later. Then there's also a coat hook on the side of each seat. There's actually 2, which is nice. Believe it or not, there's no USB outlet, and there's also no headrest, which some low-cost carriers do have, but not a whole lot. And the seat back padding is very limited also. So overall, very basic, but for a short flight on a low-cost carrier, acceptable seat features, sort of. No, well, yeah. The seat features aren't great, but it could be worse, slightly.
Welcome aboard Airbus A320 to Jakarta. We're still waiting for the cargo door to close, and when we done everything, we are going to Jakarta. Flight time to Jakarta is about 50 minutes. Weather is good, and finally I have joined the flight. Thank you for flying with Super Airjet, and have a nice flight. Thank you.
That was a very basic announcement.
Pagi, saya penerbangan. Nama saya Kapten Airway.
Selama penerbangan. Terima kasih atas kerjasamanya dan selamat menikmati penerbangan bersama Super Crew. For the flight delayed due to personal reasons, on behalf of Super Agent, Captain Erwin Hermawan Effendi, and entire Super Crew would like to go aboard IU-313 destination to Jakarta. The flight time to Jakarta will be taken in 1 hour. In accordance with the civil aviation safety and regulations, smoking is prohibited, including electric cigarettes, and is prohibited to damage the activate and disembarking system of smoke detectors in lavatories. Use and charging of electronic equipment using lithium batteries or the power bank is prohibited during the flight. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy flight with the Super Crew. Super Crew is after the position. Para tamu yang terhormat, sesuai dengan peraturan keselamatan penerbangan sipil, kami mohon perhatian Anda setelah kabin kami peragakan cara menggunakan alat keselamatan dalam pesawat. Dear Supergas, according to civil aviation safety regulation, please, we must demonstrate the safety equipment of our aircraft. Please pay attention to our Super Crew seatbelt. Sabuk pengaman Anda dipasang seperti ini, yang dikencangkan seperti ini untuk mengeratkan tarik talinya, melepaskannya akan tumpukan besi. Your seatbelt is fastened like this and tightened like this. To tighten pull the strap to unfasten the seatbelt, lift the buckle. Sesuai dengan peraturan keselamatan penerbangan sipil, kami ingatkan untuk kembali ke tempat duduk setelah pun tanda kenakan sabuk pengaman menyala dan pada saat disusunkan oleh awak kabin. According to civil aviation safety regulation, please return to your seat and fasten the seatbelt when the fasten seatbelt sign is on. Place the seatbelt over your head and tighten it by pulling the nose strap.
I'm pretty sure that definitely is an airstart unit, meaning the APU isn't working. So we'll start engines here and then get pushed back.
Then help the children emergency exit. To inflate your life jacket, pull down sharp and red tab. Setelah jacket pull, to inflate blow in the red tubes. Then turn on the relax new water safety card.
Now time for pushback.
Para tamu super yang terhormat, saat lepas landas sudah dekat, silakan kenakan sabuk pengaman, tegakkan sandaran kursi, melipat meja, dan membuka penutup jendela. Terima kasih. Dear super guests, in preparation for takeoff, please fasten your seat belt and make sure the seat back is upright, the table is low, and your window shade is up. Thank you.
Now time for takeoff.
Sesuai dengan peraturan keselamatan penerbangan sipil, kami ingatkan untuk kembali ke tempat duduk saat lampu tanda kenakan sabuk pengaman menyala. Dear passengers, the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. According to civil aviation safety regulation, proceed to your seat and fasten your seatbelt when the sign is on or when instructed by the super crew.
Welcome to the Super Airjet A320 loo review. I'm in the front galley loo. So we have tissues here, a cold top. The basin is a pretty solid size, and there's also soap, toilet paper obviously, and a little disposal bin. It's really basic in terms of features. There's not a whole lot in here, however. I don't go on as many A320s as 737s, so maybe they're all bigger. I think they are a little bit, but it's actually a pretty solid size in here. So overall, a basic, but reasonably spacious loo from Super Airjet. Okay, so welcome to cruising altitude here. I'm not sure what it is, and I don't think this app shows it. However, I have managed, after turning off my VPN, because I wasn't working with that, and connecting to the Tripper Wi-Fi network, managed to get into the entertainment system. So you need to download this before the flight, so I would highly recommend doing that. So yeah, as I said, the app is called Tripper. From the ads and stuff it's shown, it looks like a lot of Southeast Asian airlines use it, particularly Indonesian ones such as Batik Air, Lion Air, Pelita Air. But honestly, I was not expecting it from Super Airjet. A short flight on a low-cost carrier in Indonesia, I wasn't expecting even streaming entertainment, but here we are. So if I press on movies, they do try to show you ads, but it's not very quick. And there's no actual Wi-Fi access, by the way. But there are some movies here. There does not appear to be a whole lot. Oh no, there's actually quite a few movies. There's maybe 10 Hollywood movies. Look, there's not a whole lot of movies, but Super Airjet also doesn't operate long haul, I don't think even medium haul flights. But there's quite a lot. Here are all of the movies, so there's quite a few movies, some of them Indonesian and all that. It's definitely not a large selection, but it should do the job. You should be able to find something to watch. As for the TikTok Extra, I don't know what it's meant to look like, but if I just press on this, you guys can see. I'm trying to press. I don't know what this is, but I guess it's there if you want it. If I go to TV shows, then there's some of them as well. Not many international ones. Look, it's a very limited entertainment system, but for a short flight I think it's alright. There's also some games you can play. Under information, it doesn't look like there's an in-flight map. This is very outdated. They have many routes now. Super Airjet actually have a fleet of 58 aircraft now. I don't believe they have any more in order, but who knows with the Lion Air group. But yeah, I guess that's about it. But overall, it's really basic, but better than nothing for a streaming entertainment system. And just like that, it's now time to prepare for landing into Jakarta, Soekarno Hatta International Airport. There is no in-flight service on Super Airjet, which is interesting, though I've noticed that Lion Air Group airlines often don't, except for the full service arms like Batik Air. But yeah, so I did ask the crew, no water available or food or anything, which for a 50-minute flight is okay. However, I would hope that they would provide at least water, even if it's at a cost for a longer flight. But with that, we have now started our descent into Jakarta.
Silakan kembali ke tempat duduk, mengenakan sabuk pengaman, menegakkan sandaran kursi, melipat meja, dan membuka penutup jendela. Terima kasih. Dear passengers, Shortly we will be landing at Soekarno Hatta, the International Airport of Tangerang, Banten. Please sit into your seat, fasten your seatbelt, and make sure your seat bag is upright, the table is turned, and your window shade is up. Thank you. Perlu kami informasikan saat mendarat telah dekat. Untuk alasan keselamatan, sistem super entertainment akan dimatikan. Para new generation dapat melanjutkan menikmati hiburan super entertainment di mana saja dan kapan saja.
As we start our approach into Jakarta's Soekarno Hatta International Airport, I think now's a good time to conclude today's trip report. My journey today actually started in Yogyakarta city. I made the mistake, it worked, but it probably wasn't the best idea, to walk from my hotel to the train station. I made it just on time, and it was a relatively easy but crowded process to get into the train. Once on board, the train was quite noisy, but it was pretty comfortable, and also really quick compared to a taxi. It's about half the time, and for $2, I would highly recommend catching the taxi from Yogyakarta city to the airport. New Yogyakarta Kulon Progo International Airport is very good. It's still, as far as Indonesian airports go, it's pretty automated, and overall, it's a great airport. And the check-in process wasn't great, but at least the staff were friendly-ish. Once we got through security, I just chilled around the gate and got an iced latte, and did a bit of plane spotting before our plane touched down. Our aircraft wasn't painted very nicely, and the only bit of paint there was cracked, and I think it was like a sticker. It wasn't really fully painted, but oh well. Once on board, I was greeted by very friendly cabin crew with a more casual uniform, a little bit like Bonza, which is nice. And then I sat down in my seat to notice there wasn't very much legroom. However, the seat features, other than that, are standard for a low-cost carrier. And there's literally no in-flight service. I think we're going to land maybe a few minutes late, but nothing significant. And the loo was spacious, but it would be nice if there was soap. Oh, and the entertainment was a nice little surprise, but nothing to get particularly excited about. The lack of in-flight service was also not ideal, but dealable with for a 50-minute flight.
Silakan kembali ke tempat duduk Anda, kencangkan sabuk pengaman, tegakkan sandaran kursi, melipat meja, dan membuka penutup jendela.
Also, the boarding process in Yogyakarta was not very good at all.
Tetap duduk sampai pesawat berhenti dengan sempurna dan lampu dan
Completely
sabuk pengaman
uncoordinated.
dipadamkan. Dear super guests, we will be landing shortly. Please sit on your seat, fasten your seatbelt. Your seat bag is upright, the table is towed, and your window shade is up. Please ensure all electronic devices are switched off now. We would like to inform you that after landing, you are to remain seated until the aircraft has come to complete stop and the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. The mobile phone may be used after you are in the terminal building. Thank you.
Anyways, as I was saying, after all of that, to conclude, I had mixed feelings. Also, the APU wasn't working, but I had mixed feelings about Super Airjet. On one hand, I think that they're pretty good value since it's very cheap and constantly rivals the cheapest price on the route. It's not always the cheapest, but it's normally within $10 of the cheapest. The cabin crew are friendly enough. However, I really do hope that they introduce some kind of in-flight service, at least on longer flights. But I am mildly concerned about the condition of the aircraft, but I think it's fine. So overall, I would say that Super Airjet is not, there's nothing really good about it, but there's also nothing bad, like really bad about it. So I would say that Super Airjet is a slightly below average low-cost carrier, however it's not really bad. Like me today, if it's the only option that works for you, then I say go for it. But if you do have another option, such as maybe Pelita Air, Transnusa, even I haven't tried CityLink, I do want to, but CityLink, then I would probably take it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But the flight price will be in the description, but I think I paid about $70, and I had to book through the Boutique Air website since Super Airjet don't accept credit card, which is common with smaller airlines in Indonesia. One last quick thing to add to the conclusion. Even though they are in the same airline group, I do actually think that Super Airjet is slightly better than Lion Air. So if you're choosing between the two, I would choose Super Airjet personally. Anyways, enjoy the approach into Jakarta Soekarno Hatta International Airport, as I mentioned earlier. Welcome to Jakarta. There's a Garuda Indonesia unleased A330-300. I can also see the Transnusa Comac ARJ21. I'm actually flying on that in a few hours. That trip report will already be out, so check it out if you haven't already.
Tamu super yang terhormat, kita baru saja mendarat di Bandara Udara Internasional Soekarno-Hatta, Jakarta di Tangerang, Banten. Dear super guests, we have just landed at Soekarno-Hatta, the International Airport of Jakarta in Tangerang, Banten. Please remain seated and fasten your seatbelt until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Please pay attention when the luggage bin as some items may fall out. And before disembarking, please check your personal belongings so there is nothing left behind. We would like to say goodbye to all passengers and thank you for flying with Super Airjet.
Doors are cross-check.
It's a very long shutdown process. Now time to disembark. Bye-bye. welcome to Jakarta. Okay, now in this massive crowd of people in the, I think this is Terminal 1, which both Terminal 1 and 2 are not very nice. But anyways, now going to finish up today's video. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video. A like and subscription if you enjoyed it, we very much appreciate it. It's not necessary nor expected, but if you enjoyed the video and you wouldn't mind, it would help me out a bit. Also check out my website if you like at aviation763.com for information on upcoming flights and easy navigation to certain airlines' trip reports. Also on my Instagram at aviation763_, I post live updates including on today's flights and some cool photos of my destination and just planes and stuff in general. Last but most certainly not least, thank you to all my incredible Patreons who help to make these videos possible. Your support is so much appreciated, and I couldn't do what I do without them. So their name's on screen now. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video. Have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one.
We have this landed at Soekarno Hatta, the International Airport of Jakarta in Tangerang, Banten. Please remain seated and fasten your seatbelt.